Oh man, I really dodged a bullet by not marrying you. I mean, I can't believe that we actually got so close to really doing that. Wouldn't that just be the worst thing in the world? I really just can't wrap my head around how close I got to doing that. After all, you only graduated high school, isn't that right? How could you not have told me that before you and I got engaged? What in the world were you thinking?
I'm sorry, Jack, but I really just can't understand what my educational background has to do with any of this at all. But what's more than that, I just really can't believe that you would invite me over to meet your family and then that you would just make fun of me like that.
Oh, come on, are you serious? Did you really not think that that was going to happen to you once I figured out the truth of who you really are? I mean, really, what else did you expect when you were trying to worm your way into my elite family? Don't you know that everyone in my family works at one of the largest banks in the country? A lowly little nobody like you would never in 1,000 years be able to become a member of my family. If you really ever thought that you even had a chance to begin with, that just shows how stupid you really are.
Well, fine then, but since we're not getting married anymore, I just really don't understand why you need to keep being so mean to me like this.
Oh, come on, just what in the world makes you think that you're deserving of having someone be nice to you at all? I still just can't believe that you came over to my house to meet my family because you thought that we were still getting married. But at least I seem to have set you straight now that you realize I only invited you over to cancel our engagement. And I just hope that serves to teach you a lesson about trying to worm your way into families that are so much higher than you. You don't belong here, don't you get it?
Do you really think that you're all so great just because your family all went to college? Is that really where all of this is coming from?
We didn't just go to any college. We all went to some of the top schools in our field, and that's why we also have amazing jobs in the finance world now. You know that not just anyone can achieve what my family has been able to achieve, don't you? Then again, I guess that you really wouldn't understand since you barely even graduated high school.
I really just can't believe that you're acting this way, Jack. I mean, don't you have any shame about what you're saying at all?
And just what would I even have to be ashamed of when it comes to you, huh? You're nothing compared to me, and I have every right to talk to you however I want. After all, I was the one who went to college. I was the one who worked hard to get a great job at a bank. I was the one who did all of it, so I have a right to be proud of myself.
You keep talking about how you've done all this to yourself, but I really think that you're only riding the coattails of your family.
You don't know what you're talking about at all. I worked hard and got to where I am because of it. I can't believe that I almost let a girl like you trick me. But I guess I understand why you're being so bitter right now. You were so close to getting in with my family, and now you're just back to where you started.
And I just can't believe that I could have ever trusted that you were a nice guy. Instead, you just tricked me to come over and fall right into your cruel trap. But you know what? I'm glad that you did that too, because at least now I know the truth, and I can just give up on you entirely.
Well, the choice was actually never yours to begin with, if you must know, but you really did have me going for a while. I remember when you took me to where you worked once just so you could try and improve yourself in my eyes. But the thing is, I actually thought the spot didn't even look all that bad. But it was only after that when I learned just how low of a person you really are. And that's when I realized that everything you had been selling to me was nothing but a lie.
You know what, Jack? You can just go on and say whatever you like about me. And I'm sure that you've already made me the butt of so many jokes around the office water cooler. You must be laughing your butt off with all your little banker friends.
Well, I mean, it is a pretty funny story when you think about it, right? I mean, I ended up engaged to a little loser like you. We almost got married. But then at the last second, I figure out the truth and convince you to come to my parents' house, only to find us all there ready to tear you down and cancel the engagement.
That's right, you sure showed me. Well, you know what? I don't even care if you do go around telling all your friends about all the horrible things that you did to me. After all, Who would care about what happened to a little loser like me, right? I bet you all have such a sick sense of humor. And you know what? The truth is that I am really, really sad that you treated me this way. But now all I can really do is laugh about it myself.
Well, I don't really care at all about how you react to this kind of thing. After all, you're just a little loser who was never, ever going to truly marry into my family. I really don't think that you even understand just what's so funny about all of this to begin with. You and I live in completely different worlds. What do you know about anything?
Well, I suppose you're right about that. We do live in different worlds, don't we? Maybe you're right. Maybe I just don't understand.
But don't you worry, since you said it was okay, I'll be sure to talk to everyone at my work about what a loser you are and how I totally embarrassed you in front of my family. So I guess thanks for giving permission to keep reliving that hilarious memory of mine over and over and over again. I'm sure that all the guys in the office will think that it's just hilarious.
You're right. I mean, what was I even thinking? A little loser like me could never even come close to being part of such an elite family of bankers like yourself. In fact, I really should be thankful that you ever even gave me a chance, even if you don't know the full story. I think I might actually cry from how grateful I am.
Well, if you're trying to convince me to take you back, it's far too late for that now. I don't know why I'd ever want anything to do with someone like you ever again. But you know, I do have to say that at least I'm glad to see this turn in attitude from you. I thought that you were going to be so much more bitter about this, but I guess that you just have finally accepted what a loser you really are.
You are exactly right about that. That is exactly what is happening and nothing else. I am just a loser, and that's all there really is to it.
Well, anyways, I don't really see much reason for us to be carrying on this conversation now that we've established just how much better me and my family are compared to you. So have a nice rest of your life, you failure.
Although, I think that I should just correct one little thing that I don't think you've quite realized that yet. The truth of the matter is that I actually graduated valedictorian from Oxford.
Okay, come on now. What is this? I thought that we were through with all the lies. I'm sorry, but it's far too late for you to try and convince me of anything but the real truth from here on out.
So you mean to tell me that that guy really was the one that you were telling me about? I really just had no idea about that at all. You know, had I known, then I never would have done anything in the first place. Julia, you really don't have to apologize for it at all, you know? Well, I mean, you say that, but I was the one who introduced the two of you to begin with. I am so sorry that I did that. I really just had no idea that Jack would end up being that kind of a guy in the end. He always seemed so nice to me, and I thought that he was always so close with his coworkers because he was just a friendly guy. Well, I really just don't want you blaming yourself at all. I mean, the fact of the matter is that you just didn't know the kind of guy that he was, and that's okay. But anyways, I also should have been more careful about trusting him and looking out for red flags. After all, the two of us ended up engaged. Oh, well, that is just so nice of you to say to me, but I still just can't help but feel so guilty over all of this. I mean, maybe I should have just kept my big mouth shut to begin with. I really don't think that you have anything to blame yourself for at all. If anything, I think that the two of us were just tricked by him. I think that Jack is one of those guys that is really good at getting people to think that he's good, but that really he's just a big, huge jerk underneath it all. But I think that if we can, I'd really like to try exposing just who he really is for the whole world to see. I mean, sure, that all sounds good on paper, but how could you even begin to do something like that and get away with it? Do you have any idea on how to make that happen? I don't know. I just know that Jack thinks that he's on top of the world and that nothing could ever take him down from the status that he has. But I think that we could use his overconfidence and take him down hard. I just know that one day he'll take a step too far and that'll do it. Well, as great as I think it would be for that to happen, I really am just not sure about that. I mean, I'm still just a little confused about all this anyways. Why would Jack put you down after learning about where you went to school? Well, the thing is that I just don't think that he ever believed me when I told him where I actually went. All he does is think that I graduated high school here and then just never went to college afterwards. I mean, I guess I understood why he might be suspicious of where I went to school, but I don't think that it's all that rare for people to study abroad anymore anyways. Although I don't really care one way or the other if he believes me or not, it just really isn't any of my business. Man, I mean, that would really frustrate me, to be perfectly honest with you. After all, I think you probably have a much better school record than him. It's ridiculous that he doesn't believe you. Well, I think that maybe some part of him is just too scared to believe that anyone else could achieve more than he could. And I think that really it all goes back to his parents, if you really want to ask me. I think that they're just all rotten, cruel people who look down on others. Well, I suppose I can't really say much about any of this at all, considering the fact that I really haven't done all that much with my life or gone to any fancy schools or anything like that. Oh, come on, Julia. You really have to stop putting yourself down like that. You don't have to be ashamed of that at all. You don't have to go to a fancy school or anything like that to be a good person, you know? And you work so hard at your job, and you're really, really good at it. So I don't think that you have anything to be ashamed of whatsoever. Well, I really am glad you feel that way, because sometimes it can get kind of easy to feel down on myself, you know? But you're also really good about never being mean to me. Of course, you're one of my closest friends, and I would hate to make you feel bad for anything like Jack did to me. But actually, since we're on the subject of all of this, I was wondering if I couldn't ask you for a little favor.
Hey, are you there? Is this supposed to be some kind of joke or something? I mean, really, what the heck's going on here? Why in the world are you showing up on TV all of a sudden?
Oh, I guess you must have seen the interview I gave for my company the other day, is that right? But thanks for checking that out, I guess. I hope that you like what you saw at least. Anyways, is that all you wanted to say?
But, I mean, they showed a picture of you on the TV, and you were in a graduation gown, and the people on TV said that you actually did graduate top of your class from Oxford.
Well, that's what I told you, isn't it? I really don't get why that should be so surprising to you at all. But yeah, I was talking to the reporters who were doing a profile on me, and they said that they really wanted to show that photo and talk about my past.
But I don't understand. You never told me about any of this at all. How in the world did you manage that, and why did you keep it a secret from me all this time?
I really didn't keep anything a secret from you at all, Jack. In fact, I even told you the last time that we talked that I went to Oxford, remember?
But well, okay, sure, you told me all of that, but how was I supposed to know you were actually telling the truth? Did you really think I was just gonna believe what you'd said to me? Why didn't you show me that graduation photo of yours or something? At least if you had shown me that, it would have acted as a kind of proof, you know?
Well, I understand what you're saying, but I just don't really think that I owe you any kind of explanation for anything at all at this point.
I'm still just so confused. You told me that you graduated high school here, but that you never ever went to college. Is that not just lying to my face?
No, I said exactly what I meant to say, and you read into it as much as you wanted to. I told you that I graduated high school here, but that I didn't go to college here. Here being the US, of course. And the truth is that I actually didn't go to college right away. After I graduated, I had to work to help support my family.
So, then you just finished high school, helped out your parents for a while, and then you just went to Oxford? How does someone even do something like that?
Well, what can I say? I guess that I'm just a really studious person, and they really like that about me.
Oh, come on, you can't just brush that off as if it's nothing. You were literally in the top of your class at one of the top universities in the world. That's not nothing.
Well, yes, I know that a lot of people like to make a big deal about me graduating at the top of my class, but I even told you about that as well, remember? Although, unsurprisingly, you thought that was a lie too and just laughed it off.
But that's because I really did think that you were lying to me that whole time. I mean, how in the world was I ever supposed to think that someone like you, who graduated high school and then did nothing else, was actually an Oxford grad? I think that anyone in their right mind would assume that you were either joking or lying or something. Certainly not that you were telling the truth about any of that.
Well, I don't really know what to tell you. I mean, I told you the truth and you didn't believe me. So I don't really understand how you're trying to spin this back on me.
But Okay, all right, you got me there. You were honest with me, and I wasn't listening when I should have. That much I admit. But now that I finally know the truth about who you really are, how about you and I get back together? I think that you and I would make the perfect couple, now that I know everything.
You really think that I want to get married to you after all that you put me through? And is that all you...
Oh, come on, what are you talking about? Just up until the other day we were engaged to each other and you couldn't be more happy to marry me, right? I just don't understand how your feelings could change for me that strongly in such a short amount of time, you know? And now that I know you went to a good school, I know that my parents would love to have you around.
All you really think there is to say on the matter? You think now that you and your family will approve of me that I'll just come back without any issues at all? You might think that we don't have any problems between us now, but I have a huge problem with you, if you must know. Just why in the world do you think that I would ever want to get with such a cruel and discriminatory man like yourself?
Look, Ashley, I already said that I was sorry about all of that, okay? But I really don't understand where all of this hostility is coming from. I acknowledged that what I did was wrong. What more to it is there?
Do you really just have no shame at all? Do you actually think that you can treat people the way that you treated me all because of where they went to school?
Oh, come on, what are you even talking about? You never ever told me that you went to Oxford. You should have told me from the very start. Obviously, knowing that would have changed the way that I see you.
And that is exactly the problem I have with you. All you care about is people's backgrounds, but you don't actually care about the people themselves.
I really think that you're blowing this all out of proportion. I mean, really. Don't you get that I thought you hadn't even gone to college at all? In fact, you should know that my parents actually did see your little interview on TV as well, and they were absolutely shocked to find out the truth. So please, can't we just go back to the way things were? I think that you and I would make the perfect couple if you just gave me a chance again. Don't I at least deserve that?
What are you talking about? In what world would you ever deserve a second chance after the way that you treated me? Besides, if anyone is going to be deciding if you get a second chance, it is going to be me and not you. Anyways, I have better things to be doing right now, so if you'll excuse me, I think I'll be getting back to my life now.
Wait, no, please, don't go yet. I'm not done saying all that I wanted to say to you, Ashley.
Well, I really don't have anything more than I need to say to you. After all, you were the one saying you were going to make fun of me to all your coworkers, remember? You thought that you were better than me, and your first instinct was to brag about it to others. That's really low, don't you think?
But Okay, you're right. I shouldn't have done that either. But look, I can go back to all the guys at the bank and explain to them that it was actually just one huge mistake, okay? Is that going to make you happy?
You really just don't get what you put me through at all, do you? I don't really care at all what your coworkers think of me. But the fact that that's the way you decided to respond to everything tells me all that I needed to know about you.
But that's not fair. Besides, you should know that everyone else thinks that I'm a great guy who works really hard.
Right. Well, have you even talked to your boss, Mr. Henderson, about any of all that you've put me through, though?
And just why in the world would I have anything to say to him at all, huh?
Just call him. I think that you would be really interested in what he has to say to you. Although I doubt that you'll be able to get through.
I don't know what you think you're getting up to, but you should know that Henderson is a good friend of mine. But if you really want me to tell him about this too, I'll indulge you. What the heck is going on here, huh? I tried calling Mr. Henderson and he wouldn't pick up. It was just like you said to me. In fact, I tried calling a bunch of people from the office just now and I couldn't get through to anyone at all. What the heck is going on here?
Well, I don't know. Do you really think any of your coworkers would want anything to do with you after the way you treated me? Maybe you should try reaching out to Julia instead. She might have something to say to you.
But, I mean, come on, Julia is a nobody. She just works as one of the grunts. She isn't anywhere near the level I'm at. She should be taking my calls for sure.
You really just don't get it at all, do you? You think it's all about status, but you haven't realized that it's all been slipping away from you.
You're not making any sense at all. Nothing is slipping away from me. I probably just can't reach anyone because it's Saturday right now.
Really sure about that? Maybe just try ringing Julia and see what happens.
Hey, Julia, this is Jack. Do you have any idea where Mr. Henderson is? I can't seem to get a hold of him, and I really need to talk to him right now.
Oh, hello there, Jack. I'm afraid that I'm just a lowly little cog in the wheel who didn't go to any kind of fancy school at all. I don't think that I can help you out at all. Anyways, if that's all that you wanted to talk to me about, I would really appreciate you not communicating with me at all during work hours. I have better things to be doing anyway, so if you don't have anything else to ask me about, I think that I'm going to start ignoring any calls I might get from you.
But, wait, hold on. What are you talking about? You can't be serious about all of this, right?
Oh, I'm afraid that I am serious. But I don't really understand why you're even talking to me at all right now. I thought that you hated talking with people that you thought were beneath you.
No, look, I don't know what's going on or what Ashley's been telling you, but I really just don't want you to think that I think that way. Of course, I think that it's important to treat everyone equally, and especially people who I'm romantically involved with. But the fact of the matter is that if they can't keep up with any of my conversations...
I'm sorry, but why are you telling me any of this at all? I really am just not interested in the least about your warped views of the world. And you should know that the rest of the people from the office are pretty sick of dealing with you as well.
Wait a second, you mean to tell me that the other people in the office also feel this way about me? I had no idea about that at all. How did they even get the idea that I treat people like this?
Well, I think it mostly just comes from the fact that you do treat people this way. And especially when we all go out for company gatherings. You're always bragging to everyone about how things were when you were going to Stanford. You're always going on and on about how the conversation there at your school was so much more classy and refined, and how nobody at the company is even worthy of talking to.
Oh, come on. Are you really trying to tell me that people from the office were getting upset over just a little bit of drunken smack talk at the company outings? Well, it's not my fault if these guys are all just sensitive little babies who can't stand to hear the truth come out of someone who's so much smarter than they all are. I mean, really, am I supposed to feel bad for all the poor little peons beneath me, all because they could never even dream of doing what I've been able to do? I don't really think that's fair of them or you to hold any of what I say outside of the office against.
Well, you know, it's just not just outside of the office at the gatherings where you talk about that kind of stuff, right? I mean, you're always putting people in the office down when you think that you're better than them. You're always going on and on about how you think the entire bank would collapse if it wasn't being held up by your genius. The whole office knows exactly the kind of person that you are, even if you try to put on a charming face when you're in the office.
But that doesn't make any sense to me at all. I try really hard to get everyone to like me, but now you're saying that everyone secretly hates me and knows about how I feel about people who don't have the same level of education as me? How could that be?
It probably has to do with the fact that you're a huge office gossip, and the fact that you think everyone wants to be your friend just because of your degrees. Putting on a charming facade is one thing, but if you just try and gossip and spread rumors about the office behind everyone's back, thinking that nobody is going to trace them all back to you, you're really not as smart as you think that you are.
But I only did that because I thought that everyone liked me in the office. I didn't think that they'd turn around and go tell the person I was gossiping about exactly what I just said about them. Are you really telling me that basically the whole office has figured out that I've had something to say about just about everyone there? And that they've all been able to trace those rumors back to me?
Exactly what I'm telling you has happened. At least I'm glad that your Ivy League brain was able to piece that one together. Honestly, just how stupid could you really get acting like that? But that's not all. Now that the whole office knows just the kind of person that you really are underneath the persona that you show everyone, we've launched an office-wide complaint to Human Resources. So that means that they are going to look into all of that you've been saying, and I don't think that you're going to get off lightly one bit. Do you understand me?
Hold on a second. So not only did you all go behind my back to tell each other the secrets and my thoughts on everyone else, but then you all have the gall to go and report me for those things? I don't see how that's fair at all. I thought that I was able to say those things in confidence to the people that I was speaking to at the time.
You should have thought about that before you went running your big fat mouth. But I guess all I can say to you is that I hope you learned your lesson after this. Because not only did you blow up a potential marriage to someone who your family would have adored and who would not have only been great for your career but is also just an all-around great person, you might have even ruined your career as well.
No, this can't be happening. Things weren't supposed to go this way. I don't believe what I'm reading. Please, you have to do something to help me. Do you have any idea what my family is going to do to me if they found out that I've caused this much trouble?
If you think that anyone in the office is going to give you a hand after all the coattail riding you've been doing, well, I think it's high time that you have a little check-in with reality. After that, the HR office at the bank where Jack and Julia worked processed the complaint and only uncovered more terrible things about how Jack was treating and talking to the rest of the staff. Despite protests from his parents, who were high up in the bank, Jack was let go of his job and became a black mark on his family's otherwise impeccable legacy of pretentiousness. As for me, I just thanked Julia for telling Jack how things were going to be and went back to my life. Of course, I hope the next man I date isn't such a jerk. But at least I know what to look out for. Thank you for watching. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe to see more content like this.
By the way, Lily, whatever happened to you bringing me a grandchild? I'm getting pretty old over here, so I'd like to see my grandchild's face pretty soon. You're going on about that again? You and I have already talked about how we aren't thinking about a kid yet, right? We're moving at our own pace over here, and we don't want to be rushed. So please, just stop bringing things up about babies for the time being. The fact that you're saying things like that must mean you can't even bear a child then, right? Huh? What is that supposed to mean, Jennifer? You've been acting very strangely. You have all this time on your hands being a housewife right now, and yet you still won't get pregnant with my son's child. That's strange. You have to be hiding something from us, right? I'm sure I've said this plenty of times now. I am not a housewife right now. I am working from home, as a matter of fact. I'm sure something like that is incomprehensible to someone of your age, but couldn't you at least try to understand me? Ugh, that lie again. It's always so easy to tell when you're going to pull out that lie on me. You really need to try better at hiding things that you don't want others to know about. Maybe take some classes from a pro on how to lie. What? I'm not lying right now, though. Tell me, what makes you think that I'm lying to you? What you're trying to say to me is that you work remotely from home, right? To be someone who can work from home for a company all the time, you'd have to be pretty dang amazing, right? You can't possibly be that smart of a woman to do something like that, right? You didn't even go to college, making you a pretty dumb woman. Ugh, that's right. I never went to college, automatically making me a really stupid woman. Ha ha ha. No matter what evidence there is that shows otherwise, you're always going to say that about me. Well, that's fine with me then. Oh, are you getting a little upset now? There really is nothing cute about you. You can't make any kids and can't work a proper job. You're so ugly that you can't possibly see yourself being unfit for my son. Yet for some reason you keep trying to be his wife. How about you get on with that divorce already, please? It would save everyone else around you a whole lot of pain and time. I've told you that we both do not want kids yet. How many times must I say that for you to get a hint? By the way, here's something a little more urgent that I need to tell you about. Would you stop coming into our house all the time and taking things from the kitchen? I'm just coming over to make sure that the food you're cooking isn't gross and inedible. If you were to be feeding my son bad cooking, I wouldn't allow you to continue getting away with it. It seems that so far you've been making decent food for him, so that's good. But today that stir-fry you made was a little light on the seasoning, right? That's the amount of seasoning that your son happens to like on his stir-fry. I always make sure to check with what he likes before I cook, so stop worrying about what I'm doing for him. Also, when you came in to check on that stir-fry, you went and ate most of it, leaving barely any for your son to have at dinner. He was pretty upset by that, you know? Well, that's your fault for not making enough of that stir-fry for me to enjoy as well, right? If you're going to make food like that for dinner hours prior, then you need to make enough for everyone. How come you aren't already aware of things like that? Because we never asked for you to come over to our house. The only reason I made that food up around lunch is because I was going to be out late that evening and wasn't going to have time to cook with Brent home. But then you came in before he came home and ate most of the food, which neither of us expected to happen. If you had told me before that you'd be coming and wanting food, then I would have made you something to eat as well. I make decisions like coming over to your house or not on the fly. It's a real pain in my butt to always have to tell you when I plan to be over at your place or not. That's why I just show up when I want to, like yesterday. And what's so wrong about that? I ended up making him some food in your place in the end. The thing is, with you acting like that, you're bothering the both of us. I make a schedule for the week of what I plan to make and buy groceries based on that. You coming in and making food like that with those ingredients ends up ruining my plans. And I have to go back to the store to buy more things. If you're getting all bothered by that, then you must be a really picky woman. I guess you really aren't fit for my son, like I was saying. How about you leave him now? There's no way I can live with my son being married to a woman who's always so upset about the smallest little things. If you want to stay with him, then why not try to deal with things a bit more? The fact that you keep acting so wildly makes it very difficult for Brent and I to focus on our lives. At the very least, let me know that you want to come over before you start coming. Although by that point, there wouldn't really be any reason to telling me now, would there? Being married to Brent also means that you have to deal with me. If you don't like this, then you are more than free to leave him whenever you please. I will not care. Why do you have so much confidence in yourself like that? If you keep things up, you're going to really piss off your son, and then things will not be easy for you anymore. I think it's time you started to realize some things. I am able to do whatever I want to you when I want to. I can make you leave my son at any moment, and until you understand that, I'm going to keep doing things that set you off. I already hate the fact that a useless woman like you is the wife of my Brent, making it almost impossible for him to ever live a happy life. From what it sounds like, you're trying to cause drama in our relationship then. If that's the case, then I've had enough. There's no point in wasting any more of my time with you, so let's call it here. I have some things to tend to now, so I'll be going.
I'm sorry that my mom has been causing more problems for us. But you were at least able to deal with her without there being too many emotions, right? And were you able to make it where you needed to go?
Yeah, I'm fine. And I just arrived and got done checking on a few things. I've been pretty busy here actually, so I'm sorry for not texting you sooner. How was work today?
I was able to say everything I needed to. And because of that, I'll be able to move on to the next couple of steps. But I have to ask you, are you really okay with all of this? As a man who would like to be like a boy sometimes, I'm a bit upset with how things have had to end up. I would love to do so many more direct things, but that would be immature of me, I'm sure.
What are you talking about? There's nothing about what you're wanting to do that's childish or rash. I know that you're putting in a lot of effort to help me out here, and that's all I care about. Although I hope you're aware that from here on out, you have to do more than just the bare minimum. Make sure you understand all of what I mean by that, all right?
I understand. No need to worry about that. From here on out, I'll make sure to do everything in my power to support you and what you do. And that's why this time, I'm going to give it my all to prove that to you. But, I really am thankful for this, Lily. Actually, for everything.
Don't worry about it. Also, I'd really been wanting for something like this to happen. I want to take care of all the problems you've been having along with my own. And actually, speaking of problems, there was some more things coming out of your mom's mouth today.
What? More? Was she going on about this yesterday as well? I'm sure she said all kind of stupid things this time, right? I'm so sorry about her.
Yeah, she was talking about what happened yesterday, but you don't have to be sorry for it. It was the same old from her, so I wasn't actually that surprised or hurt by any of it. But that was the last straw for me.
Yeah, I know. So far, it doesn't seem my mom has changed her stance on things whatsoever. I think that if we were to do nothing about her, then things would really get out of hand between us.
That's right. So let's make sure we get away from her as soon as possible. And if the small chance of her finding out about our plan does happen, at least we know there's literally nothing she can do to stop it. I think we should just let her keep having fun sifting through the kitchen and fridge while living in her fairy tale world where she thinks everything she's doing is all right.
Yeah, that's right. I really hope this whole plan goes off without any issues.
Don't worry, it will. I'm sure of it. Also, this will mean that for you and I, we'll finally have our dream come true, right? We should be getting excited about all of this.
Ah, that's a good point. But just know that there are a few things that I might want to say to her. I'm no longer her puppet anymore, so... And well, I want her to know that very well.
I can understand wanting that. And you have put in a lot of effort to get to where you are now. Even if most of that effort had to be used moving in a way your mom hoped for.
But thankfully you came along and made sure to tell me that it was okay not to do as she said. I am so thankful that you saved me from her.
You don't have to thank me for that, though. It was pretty obvious what was happening to you wasn't okay. Your mannerisms and such all told me signs that were as clear as day. Luckily, you really did listen to me and went to go see that therapist. Your mom really poisoned your mind.
She sure did. The scary thing is, I wouldn't have never been able to notice anything wrong with me on my own. To think that all those things she was doing to me weren't normal. That's beyond crazy to me, even to this day, Lily. But that did all lead to things like my anxiety being through the roof at times, and me passing out when I became overstressed.
Thank goodness I was there with you when you passed out. If something worse than that had happened to you, I don't know how I could have managed. I might have lived with so much hate for your mom that I would have never been able to free myself from it.
I always thought what she was telling me was right, and never noticed that what she was turning me into was the same monster that she is. I'm sure back then I was a huge pain for you to deal with, right?
Don't worry about that anymore. I'm over it all now, and we're almost to the finish line. And after we've crossed said finish line, you and I will finally be able to make the family we've always been wanting. I've heard all about what's happening. You both went and bought yourselves a brand new house, right? Well, well, well. I never thought you guys would do such a thing for me. How wonderful. Huh? You're right about how Brent and I bought a brand new house. But how does that have anything to do with you, Jennifer? Because I'm going to be moving in with the both of you, right? Oh, I've always wanted to live in such a large house like that one. So when I heard that my dream would finally be coming true, I knew things would be perfect for me. It would be even more perfect, though, if it was just my son and I living there. Hold on. What are you going on about right now? Did you think that you could hide buying that new house from your mother-in-law or something? Oh, I know all about this kind of stuff because of Brent. I'm going to live in that house with the both of you. It's already been decided, and there's nothing you can do to change it. I know that you hear about this sort of stuff from him, but you're not going to be moving in with the both of us, all right? And since when have any of your opinions ever mattered to me? I'm saying that I'm going to be living there with you both, so that's what will happen. That's what I thought you'd say. Well, if you can make it to the new house, then I guess you can live with us. I'd like to see you try, actually. So, you're letting this happen now? Hearing you actually agree with what's happening is a little bit disturbing, to tell you the truth. Well, it's not like anyone was going to listen to you anyway, so it's only natural that you learn to obey what I say. That's right. I'm glad we've both come to an understanding here, especially myself. Therefore, I'll no longer need to keep resisting you. So please come on over and move in with us. I heard from Brent already about when you're both planning on moving in. I hope you're both looking forward to seeing me again. We do indeed look forward to seeing you. By the way, I forgot to ask where your new house is. Could you please give me the address? I think I'm in the right area right now. I was thinking that by the time I got into this neighborhood, I'd see all kinds of large houses, but that doesn't seem to be the case at all. I think this house I'm in front of now is yours. Is the front door and everything open right now? What are you doing, Jennifer? We aren't going back to that area. Huh? What are you talking about? The house you both bought should be in this neighborhood, right? Who told you that was ever the case? That neighborhood? Are you talking about the neighborhood that Brent and I had been living in before? We didn't buy any house in that area. Huh? Then where the hell is the house you both bought? Tell me your new address right now. No thank you. I'm not in the mood to tell you where we're at. And even if I was, it wouldn't help you any. We're both overseas now, so what would you be able to do? What? What do you mean by that? We bought a new house overseas. Do you have a passport at all, Jennifer? I know you were saying before that you'd never been out of the US, but I thought I should ask. If you don't have a passport, you might need one before even attempting to look for us. Excuse me? So you bought a house outside the US? Why would you do that? You want to know why? Because both Brent and I wanted to get as far away from you as we could. Huh? Are you both trying to run away from me? Well, to be honest, that's right. We're both fed up with having our lives getting all messy because of you. So we thought that the best option was to put some distance between us and you. And that's why we're both overseas now. Are you frickin' kidding me? You know that I can't allow the two of you to do this to me, right? What? So what are you going to be able to do about this then? There is literally nothing you can do to us anymore. You both get a divorce right now. I am not going to let you get away with kidnapping my son from me. I will not allow this. You come back here right now and plead for my forgiveness. You really think that by throwing a fit like a child right now is going to get me to agree with you and come back? I'm sorry, but neither of us are coming back. Brent has had his eyes open to the kind of monster you are and agrees with me that he cannot go back to you. He's not going to do as you say anymore, so you better get used to that. Lily, have you gone and brainwashed my son? How dare you brainwash your own husband like that into hating his mother? You are the worst woman ever. I hope you realize that you're talking about yourself there. What happened to you brainwashing your son into being a younger version of you? Because of you, your son was acting like a complete jackass, and it took a lot of work to get him back to the way a proper adult should act. I hope you understand just how much damage you did to him that won't be reversed easily. What are you going on about? When it comes to kids, they take after everything their parents tell them. You have no idea what you're talking about right now, you useless wife. You have no place to talk when it comes to the way I've raised my son. Then don't be upset by what's happened because of what you'd done. The way you raised him is the exact reason why he wants to run away from you forever now. You understand that, right? You tried to make him the same exact person you are, and as a result of that, he's running away. That's because of you, Lily. You went and brainwashed my son into thinking I was the monster, and that's why he's leaving me. If he were to just keep doing things exactly the way I say to, he'd be happy right now. Give me back my son. I'm sorry, but he is not your toy. He's not your doll. He's not your puppet. So stop asking for me to give him back to you like he is such a thing. Brent has had to grow up living under your oppression, being harmed by everything you said and did to him. When something he did wasn't what you wanted, you'd blame him for it, even though it wasn't even inherently wrong. I sure did yell at him and blame him. Everyone knows that if a child does not do exactly as their parents ask, that they are in the wrong. And that's why when Brent wasn't able to get into the company you told him he had to get into, he started to blame himself for everything and quite literally tore himself apart. Yet even after that day of pain and suffering under his own mental strain, he continued to fight now and found himself work where he'd made quite a bit of money actually. But getting there was not easy for him because of all the trauma he's received from you. The inside of his head is always a war zone. However, we're not going to let that happen anymore, and that's why we made sure to put a lot of distance between you and us. That is not something you should be intervening in, though. That kid should be working at a far better company than the one he ended up in. Yet he started to date you, and things began to change with him, and that's why he failed to get into that company. It was all your fault. Believe whatever you'd like to, I guess. Just know that things did not end there for him, though. Once we got married, you only became more toxic and started to come over to our house and go through the fridge. You would complain about the things I made in front of him or to me over the phone, and then would throw things of mine away, eat them, or make your own dishes using the food I had bought. And it's not even like Brent liked the food you cooked for him anyway. What did you say? You've never once listened to anything your son has said to you, and that's why this will come as a shock. But Brent hates your cooking. And that's why when I said he liked his stir fry with less seasoning, I meant that. You have been a terrible mother, a toxic mother to the man, and it shows so clearly. I thought you would be shutting up and listening to me now, yet you keep on yapping. There's no way on God's green earth that my son hates my cooking. You're just saying all of this to try and get me to leave you both alone. No, actually, I'm not. Brent has said all of this himself. And by the way, another thing. The reason he and I haven't had any kids yet isn't because there's a problem with me. The doctor and therapist have told us that Brent's anxiety and stress has been the cause for our problem. What? But when it comes to the woman never becoming pregnant, it's always her fault, right? That way of thinking is about 100 years too old. Both Brent and I went in to see a doctor about this, and from the tests we had done, I was totally fertile and ready for a baby. But in Brent's case, there was a problem. And that problem most likely stems from him being so stressed all the time. Well, if that's the case, then he's only stressed because you are his wife and he hates you. And that's why I've been telling you to divorce him all this time. Well, actually, it's because you keep on talking like a prick. Right now, Brent is with me, looking at our conversation. But all he keeps saying under his breath is for you to shut up already. Brent is with you? I was just trying to call him, but he wouldn't pick up. I've been worried about him this whole time. Oh, Brent, you leave that witch right now and come back to your mother's side. He's laughing right now. He told me to tell you that from here on out, he's going to live his life instead of yours. Why would you say something like that, Brent? I've been raising you in such a strict manner for your sake. Yet after all that time spent helping you along, you're going to treat me like this? Oh, you can't be serious. All that time growing up under your care, Brent knew he couldn't do anything to resist you, and so he had to give in. But even giving in wasn't enough for you, so when he failed you, you made sure he knew that. And that's why he's no longer going to view you as anything more than a monster. If you really want your son to come back to you, then you need to fix the monster you've become first, and then ask him for forgiveness. Although that might not even be possible considering you've been that kind of creature all your life, and to that I just say forget about your son now. You were the one that pushed him away in your toxic ignorance and selfishness, and you will not be pulling him back. Shut the hell up! I am tired of this BS. Now come back here. I will not allow this. Understood. Please continue to cry about it then. Because no matter what you say to us, we are never coming back. We're going to start our new life together today, and that means Brent is going to start getting used to being my housewife. If you have a problem with that and want to complain, then come and find this house we bought outside of the U.S. Well, I'm sure you'll have all sorts of complaints, so you're going to find it very hard searching the whole entire globe in whatever life you have remaining. Somehow, after all of that, Jennifer had a change of heart and started to apologize and beg for Brent and I to come back. But her pleads for forgiveness did not faze either of us, and we told her to never ever contact us again. This did not completely stop her though, as we both kind of expected, and so she continued to send text after text and call after call to us both. So in the end, both Brent and I blocked her number and made sure to block her from viewing any of our social media accounts as well. As for myself and Brent, we had a whole new world surrounding the two of us that we needed to start our new life in. I am still working my same old job, of course, as that's how I got a visa to move out here. And now Brent is helping me with said job to make sure I keep with it. He's also gone and started his job of being the housewife, and so far he's been saying he really likes it. There's nothing that can really stress him out in the house, and when it comes to cooking, he's started to learn how to cook a lot more of the local foods in the country, since a lot of them seem to be really tasty. I've got to say, I'm really happy that the both of us made this move, as it won't only keep that monster away from the both of us, but it will also culture us and slowly help heal my husband. A few weeks later, we did hear some more news about Jennifer and how she's been planning on moving into the new house with us. So she had her old place sold before she moved out. But because there was no house of ours for her to live in anymore, she was left with nothing and had to start from scratch. She tried to squat in her old house for a little while as the new owner was in the middle of getting ready to move in. But when he came inside to find her sleeping on the ground, he called the police and she had to wake up to them putting her into handcuffs. She screamed and cried and all that to not be taken away, but the cops said that they had to because she was illegally trespassing on the owner's property. She was only given a small fine of around $500 after that arrest. And once she was released, she really did have nothing more than a bag of clothing and the money she got by selling the house. However, instead of using any of that money to get herself a new place, she instead put it all into alcohol and gambling, and is starting to go to a completely new level of her life in hell. Honestly though, both Brent and I, we don't care at all that she's most likely going to be homeless for the rest of her life. Thank you for watching and listening. We hope you enjoyed the video. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe. Also, feel free to leave a comment about what you thought of the story. We look forward to seeing you at the next story.
How much longer are you going to keep me waiting, Alana? At this rate, I'll be 6 feet under by the time you give me grandchildren like I told you to. You have disappointed me to no end, do you know that? What kind of a woman can't have one single baby? Honestly, I have a hard time even calling you a woman anymore. You're just a useless sack of meat, that's all you are. And to think we've allowed you the honor of living with us. How can you even bear with the shame of being such a disappointment to your mother and father-in-law?
Well, I guess this means you heard the news.
You got that right. My husband told me all about it. You went and lost another baby, didn't you? That poor baby. It had the misfortune of being placed into your godforsaken womb. It's all your fault, by the way. You're either eating too much or too little, exercising too much or too little, or working too much or too little. If you could manage to live a healthy, well-balanced lifestyle, you wouldn't keep murdering all the babies you conceive.
I really wish I knew why this keeps happening to me. I know you're disappointed, and I am too, but I'm not giving up yet. Me and Ray are determined to have children, so we're going to keep trying. I know it's hard to wait, but wait and hope is all we can do.
I've done so much waiting that I've completely run out of hope. Meanwhile, what have I gained from it? Just more and more years of my life waiting for grandchildren that never come. And what about you, The older you get, the lower your chances are of ever having a baby. Not to mention the risk of your babies having issues skyrockets. What are you going to do if you finally give birth to a child that's grotesque and deformed?
I'd like to think that I would love that child with all of my heart because they're my child. I'm also not too comfortable with using words like grotesque to describe my baby, even if hypothetically.
Well, someone has to give you a dose of reality. You can hardly even get pregnant at all, and every child you do conceive doesn't even last to the second trimester. You're damaged goods, there's no other way to put it. My daughter, however, there's a real woman. She's fantastic, perfect in every way. She got pregnant practically the very moment that she got married.
Oh, is that right? I hadn't heard. Tell her I said congratulations.
I don't think I will, actually. It wouldn't mean anything coming from you. You should see the pictures she gave me from her last checkup. The baby just keeps growing and growing and growing. Both mother and child are doing superbly.
I'm sorry, Harriet. I don't think I can handle this conversation any longer. I just found out today that I had another miscarriage, and it's all I can do to hold myself together right now. Could you please leave me alone for a while?
Who do you think you are, telling me what to do? The reason you're struggling so much is that deep down you know that it's all your fault. I'll bet you were bringing home a different man every night of the week until you met my son. I mean, you're a high school dropout. All you types are good at is breeding, crime, and receiving welfare. It seems clear to me that you're now receiving the comeuppance for your loose morals.
That isn't true. I did not fool around like that. I've never received any welfare either. I worked hard to get where I am today.
Oh, yes. Well, let's talk about where we are today, shall we? You're barren, dried up, infertile, useless. A woman's job is to have babies. That's what we're made for. And you can't even do the bare minimum of what it means to be a woman. What does that make you, Harriet? What reason do you have for living anyway?
Being your son's wife, for starters.
You know, I hate to admit it, but you're right. That imbecile son of mine dropped out of high school just like you did. So, yes, you're absolutely perfect for each other, a couple of useless idiots. Why do I even bother with you two? There's nothing in it for me. And you know what? I think it's time we put an end to this farce. You've disappointed me for the last time, Alana.
I don't understand.
I've been thinking about this for quite some time, and now my mind is made up. I want to live with my daughter and her husband, not with you.
All right, so are you going to move?
What? Oh, don't be ridiculous. You're the ones who are moving, not us.
Wait, we're moving? What are you talking about?
Note to self, don't bother talking to high school dropouts. They don't even understand the English language. I'll use small words so you'll be sure to understand. You and Ray are going to move out of this house, and my daughter and her husband are going to move in. And I've already discussed the plan with my daughter, so it's a done deal. Don't bother objecting. You don't have any right to refuse.
This is awfully sudden. Have you talked to Ray about this yet?
No, I've already wasted enough time talking to one high school dropout today. You can tell him yourself. Oh, and one more thing. My daughter's going to have a lot of expenses coming up. Just the hospital bill for the birth will likely be several $1,000s. You and Ray don't have to worry about leaving money behind for anyone, so you can give the lion's share of your income to her. We'll start with $3,000 a month and see how things go. You can't honestly expect us to do that. It's up to you, Alana. You could always pay the whole amount by yourself every month. That would prove your worth, wouldn't it? If a high school dropout like you can earn $3,000 a month, maybe I'll take back some of the things I've said about you. I shouldn't have to pay you money just to get you to stop belittling me. There's no way I would ever agree to do that. Why in the world would I pay a single cent to a sister-in-law who I don't even live with? After all, she's not a high school dropout, is she? She's more than capable of working to earn her own money. Shut up, you insolent little girl. You married into this family. You knew what you were getting into. I am your mother-in-law, and what I say is the law. You have no right to demand I move out. Shut your mouth and get packing this instant. This is unbelievable. I won't stand for this.
Hey, Alana, I am really sorry I couldn't answer the phone when you were calling me. I was in a meeting, so I had my phone turned off. I had no idea you were calling. I listened to your voicemail, though. This is just absolutely insane. I can't believe all of this is happening while I'm at work. Where are you right now? Are you doing okay? Your voice was trembling in your message. You seemed like you were really upset. Which, considering the circumstances, I can totally understand.
Hey, Ray, thanks for getting back to me. I'm better now, thanks. It took a while, but I managed to calm down. I'm really sorry to bother you while you're so busy at work. It's just, I was so shocked and confused by everything that the only thing I could think to do after your mom texted me was to call you. I bet it was just as surprising for you as it was for me.
You don't need to be worried about me at all. I'm fine. You're the one that I'm the most concerned about. I'm so sorry about my mom being the way that she is. If I would have just been more assertive with her, maybe she wouldn't be so harsh on you all the time.
I don't blame you at all, Ray. I'm sorry if that's how I came off, but that's not the case at all. It's just, well, she came at me talking about the baby again. I asked her as nicely as I could to drop the issue, that I wasn't in a place where I could talk about it right now. But then she just got even angrier at me and told me to pack up and move out. So I did.
Yeah, I know, and that's all right with me. Let's get the hell out of here, Alana. You and me. We'll move far away where she can't bother us anymore.
You mean you really do want to move?
Yeah, I've had all that I can take of this. I'm sorry I didn't make this decision sooner, honestly. It must have been terrible for you to deal with living with my mom for this long. It's just that I'm the oldest son of the family, so when my dad asked me what I thought about the four of us living together, I just went along with it. But now that I've seen the way that my mom is gonna treat my wife, I've known ever since I was a kid that she was on the strict side, but this is simply crossing the line. I can't stand to watch her bullying you anymore. You've put up with it for long enough. The thing is, I don't even think my mom knows I know what she's doing to you. She always puts on a good act while me and Dad are around, but the second that we leave the room, she starts right into criticizing you about every little thing. God, I don't know why I wasn't more straightforward in dealing with this. We minimized the time you two were alone together, and I was always talking to Dad about how great a wife you were while Mom was in earshot. I thought that would be enough, but I was so wrong.
It's okay, Ray. I know. You were doing the best that you could to protect me from your mom in your own way. I could have done more to be assertive with her myself. But with her being my mother-in-law and all, I guess I sort of figured that this was the way it was going to be. So I resigned myself to dealing with her harassment and held on to hope that one day she would come around and we could have a normal relationship. But now I can see that day is never going to come.
Those are my thoughts exactly. That's why I think the best thing we can do is to get as far away from her as we can. Fortunately for me, I have a job that I don't need to be in the office for, so we can move somewhere with better weather and a lower cost of living. That way we can finally live in peace together, and I'll be able to focus more on my work, too. I know you've got a lot of pent-up stress from the time that we've been living together with them, and you deserve a break, and a permanent one at that. And since Mom has conveniently kicked us out of the house, This seems like the best opportunity we could ask for. Let's get out of here tonight!
Ray, are you sure about this?
Of course I am! I've never been more sure about anything, other than the day I asked you to be my wife. You can leave all of the details to me. I'll handle everything. All you need to do is relax. Get a hotel room for us, take a nice bath, watch some TV, order some room service. You've got all the essentials packed up with you, right?
Yeah, I have all our valuables, clothes, everything is packed up.
Then it's settled. Once you get a room, let me know where. I'll get us 2 plane tickets for the first flight tomorrow morning.
Sounds great.
Well. I have to admit, I never thought it would be this easy to get rid of the two of you. I wonder what you failures are up to right now. I'll bet that useless woman of yours is curled up in a ball, crying her eyes out and pretending like she's not responsible for everything.
We're on vacation right now, Mom. We're far too busy enjoying ourselves to waste any time or energy dealing with you. What do you want with me anyway? If you have something to say, then say it. If you don't want to live with us anymore, that's fine. You're welcome to move out of the house whenever you'd like.
That's some awfully big talk coming from you. After all, we're the ones who allowed you the privilege of living with us all this time. Did you think we'd let you leech off us for the rest of your life?
Excuse me? Who's leeching off who now? You're the ones who are living in my house. I'm the one who bought that house. My name is on the deed. So if anything, you and Dad are the ones who are leeching off me. You know what's big talk? Trying to kick someone out of their own house like you did to me and Alana last night.
What? No, that's ridiculous. Stop these silly lies at once. This is your father's house, not yours. He's the one who pays for everything. How dare you try to claim credit for that?
I don't know what to tell you, Mom. You're just plain wrong. I have no idea where you got the idea that Dad's the one who bought the house. We're an old-fashioned family with old-fashioned values, and I don't have any opposition to that in principle. That's why I decided that as your oldest son, letting you live with us would be a good way to honor the two of you for bringing me into this world. But that was before I saw the way you were treating Alana. I've changed my mind.
That can't be true. Oh, I get it. You must have borrowed the money to buy the house from your father.
Nope. Wrong again. I haven't borrowed 1 single cent from you or Dad. The house is mine, plain and simple, so you don't have any right to kick us out.
I had no idea. Well, in any case, you're leaving, aren't you? That's fine. You can simply sign the deed over to your father and I. I think that would be a fitting way to repay you for everything we've done for you all your life. Really, anything less than giving up the house would be a disgraceful act of betrayal.
Exactly what have you done for us, Mom? Can you name a single thing? I don't even think you've washed a single dish or cooked a single meal in all the time you've lived with us. You just verbally abused Alana while she did everything.
All I was doing was telling her how to be a better housekeeper. I mean, that woman can't do anything right. She can't even keep a baby alive inside of her for more than a month or 2. I'll bet you regret marrying her every single time you see her face.
Don't you dare insult my wife like that! My God, you are such a thick-headed old hag! What do I have to do to get you to stop insulting my wife?
What did you just call me? You can't talk to me that way. I'm your mother. I thought you couldn't disappoint me any more than the day you dropped out of high school. But now I see that your stupidity, insolence, and lack of respect truly knows no bounds. I think marrying that stupid girl has only made you even dumber than you already were.
You can call me stupid as much as you like, Mom. I've heard it all already. You can't hurt me anymore. But I am not going to allow you to insult Alana anymore. Did you even know that her dad died back when she was just a kid? Her mom had to raise her and her sister all by herself. Alana willingly dropped out of high school in order to work so the family would have enough money to live on and her little sister would be able to go to college. You were fortunate enough to be born into a moderately wealthy family, so you were free to go to any college you wanted. And if going to college was what turned you into the vile, narcissistic monster you are now, then I'm glad I dropped out of high school.
Ugh, and there it is, sour grapes. You're too stupid to get a college degree, so you cling to any excuse you can find to convince yourself you don't want one. If you want my advice, just stop talking about the subject altogether. Every single word you say only makes you look dumber.
You don't like living with an idiot like me, huh? Well, then how's about you get out of that idiot's house? This is your warning. You're not welcome there anymore. I am officially ordering you to vacate the premises immediately.
That's adorable. You think you can tell me what to do? Well, too bad. I'm having a jolly old time here with your sister and her husband. The two of you can go and find a comfortable cardboard box to sleep in for all I care.
Right. Enjoy living there while you can. It's not gonna last much longer.
Hey, what's going on, Alana? When are you going to send $3,000 you owe me for this month? I have bills to pay, you know. You want to know when I'm going to send it? Okay, here's your answer. Never. Like, did you actually expect that I was just gonna do what you say? Of course you have to do as I say. I'm your mother-in-law. What I say is law, remember? I don't have a job, so how am I supposed to pay for everything I need without the money I demanded from you? Oh my God, this is rich. You actually thought I was gonna do it. And even better, you thought that telling me that you're unemployed was going to make me more likely to give you money? If you want some help paying your bills this month, here's some free advice for you. Get a job, you lazy old bag. You snotty little upstart, you can't talk to me that way. I deigned to allow you to marry my idiot son. Don't you feel any gratitude to me at all? Let me see. Nope, none at all. You haven't even done a single thing for me that I should be grateful for. And to top it all off, you told me to get out of my own house. As far as I'm concerned, that right there was a declaration of war. We're not family anymore. That is not for you to decide. As long as you're married to my son, you must do as I say. And another thing, what's this nonsense someone from the sheriff's office gave me today? Something about a writ of possession? Didn't the sheriff explain what it meant when he gave it to you? It's simple. Ray told you to get out of the house, didn't he? And yet here you are, 4 weeks later, still living in his house. So he decided to take the legal remedies against you that are available to him. This was the first step in the eviction process. Nonsense! Absolute nonsense! This is my house! And just what gives him the right to make that claim, Just so you know, we have a lawyer who's taking care of everything for us. If you don't comply with the writ of possession, then we'll just have to escalate our case against you. But you can't do that! We can, actually, and your daughter and her husband are cool with it. I was planning on heading back there soon to talk to them about it, but they were surprisingly quick to agree to leave when I talked to them. So you're the only person who's being difficult. Wait, they've already agreed to leave? They haven't said anything about that to me. Your daughter's husband is quite a reasonable guy. I told him all about how you kicked me out of my own house to let them live there, then tried to extort me for $3,000 a month. It seems that he was under the impression that they were just going to be staying with you for a week or so. Then a week turned into 2 weeks, then into a whole month. Then he finally discovered that they were moving in with you. He wasn't very happy to be deceived like that. Plus, he was absolutely stunned by how lazy you were and how little you helped out around the house. If they didn't tell you anything, it's probably because he's just been avoiding talking to you. He's already told your daughter that they're moving out, no ifs, ands, or buts about it. Is that why he seemed so distant these last few weeks? I thought he was just being childish about the whole thing. By the whole thing, you mean you and your daughter lying to him, right? Oh, and speaking of lies, let's think back to the day of our wedding. You were working the reception desk, and you took the liberty of taking all the cards containing money for safekeeping. Whatever happened to that money? Well... Oh, don't bother, I already know. You gambled it all away. Hold on, this doesn't make any sense. How? How did you know about that? What do you think I am, Harriet? A 5-year-old?
You said you were going to hold on to it for safekeeping, and that was the last we ever heard of it. We were obviously going to get suspicious about where all that money went at some point. Plus, why would we need you to keep it safe for us anyway? We had a locked box there at the reception table for people to put it in. Oh, and as long as we're on the topic of you taking other people's money, we also went ahead and told your husband about how you spent all of Ray's savings, too.
What? There's no way. There is no possible way you could know about that. I never even told Ray.
Yeah, neither of us ever knew about a savings account in Ray's name until your husband told us about it. He asked us what we ended up doing with that money, at which point I turned to Ray, only to see a shocked expression on his face. Your husband had no idea about all the money being gone, so that means you must have used it all yourself. You started out by putting money in there regularly for his birthday, Christmas, and other special occasions. But then one day, all of a sudden, you started making some large withdrawals. That was when you started gambling, wasn't it?
Tell me what's going on right now. How did you know about all the money I took out?
Don't you know how banks work? It's Ray's account, so obviously he has the right to view a simple transaction history. That's how we know exactly how much was in there and how much you took out.
I haven't done anything wrong. I'm the one who put that money in there in the first place. I had every right to use it how I pleased.
Really, Harriet, it's all right. You don't need to embarrass yourself by trying to justify what you did. Ray isn't even all that broken up about it. He never even knew that money existed in the first place, so he doesn't feel like he lost anything. And besides, that's not even the real reason I'm angry at you. Do you remember why Ray dropped out of high school?
What? Why are you bringing that up all of a sudden?
For as long as I've known you, you've been constantly looking down on the two of us for being high school dropouts. You even did some of the most childish name-calling I've ever heard from someone as old as you. If you want to mock me, that's fine, but not Ray. The entire reason he dropped out of high school was because your husband got injured and lost his job. He didn't even think twice about sacrificing his own future in order to ensure that the family's needs were met, and so his little sister could follow her college dreams. So he dropped out of high school and started working.
Oh, I suppose he did. But he's a man, isn't he? That's what men are supposed to do, work to support their family.
Wow, isn't that something? You have an incredible ability to invent the worst excuses possible for your bad behavior out of thin air. You can't believe that it's a man's role to work for the family and use that to justify making Ray work in your husband's place. Or you can believe that high school dropouts are all morons and use that as justification to mock and demean your son for dropping out. You can't have it both ways, though. Plus, aren't you forgetting another able-bodied person in your household?
You mean my daughter?
I mean you idiot. You could have at least gotten a part-time job. That, plus your husband's disability benefits, should have been more than enough to allow Ray to finish high school and go on to college. Not to mention all the money that Ray had in his bank account. If you had given him that money instead of using it on yourself, he would have been able to go to college with no problem.
Why are you so determined to dredge up all these matters that are over and done with anyway? Can't we move on and think about the future?
Oh, don't worry, we're getting there. You never told any of this to your daughter either, and your husband was opposed to your decision not to work at the start. But then, wouldn't you know it, you came down with a severe depression and couldn't work. One that was never properly diagnosed, by the way. You made that all up, didn't you?
You can't prove I made it up.
Then can you show me an official diagnosis?
I lost it years ago and I'm better now.
I see. So you still won't fess up, huh? Well, I think you'll have a much harder time dodging responsibility once our lawyer comes after you. He's very good, I should warn you. Once we give him the go-ahead, he'll swoop in on you like a hawk. We'll get all the information we need to crush you in no time. You have no chance against us in court, unless you can somehow hire yourself a lawyer as good as ours. But you don't really have that kind of money, do you?
I'll be fine. All I need to do is ask my husband for the money and I'll hire a lawyer better than yours.
Oh, Harriet, you poor thing. You still don't get it, do you? Your husband knows everything now. He's not going to take your side. Actually, he apologized to Ray for not catching on to you sooner. Even if your daughter has had a massive change of heart, once she found out that Ray sacrificed his own dreams in order to support her, she rushed right over to thank him for everything and apologize for not treating him better. We're having a little family conference right now.
What? Right now?
That's right. Pretty good timing, isn't it? I knew you'd be going to the casino today, so I called everyone over here to have a little chat about you. I was hoping to get everyone in the family to choose whose side they would take before going any further. And do you know how many of them said they were going to side with you? 0. Not one single person. I was planning on filling you in on the results of our meeting at a later date, but since you went out of your way to text me, I thought I might as well let you know right now.
You mean you knew I was at the casino?
Yes, and I'm guessing that you're most likely standing in front of their ATM machine right now. You were just about to withdraw the money you assumed I would send you to hit the tables, but instead saw a big fat 0. That's why you texted me, isn't it? You're so transparent. As for why I know you're at the casino, we hired the best lawyer around, who just so happens to know the best private detective around. He told us all about your typical schedule, including when you go and do your gambling. If you'll just wait there a moment, the family and I are heading inside to talk to you right now. Just do us a favor and don't try and run. It'll only delay the inevitable. When we all went inside, Harriet was making a mad dash to the restroom. However, one of the casino security guards got to her before we did. It seems as though she wasn't coming to gamble today. She was coming to pay off her gambling debts. That's why she was so desperate to get her hands on my money. The guard was kind enough to let us have first dibs at her, though, and did us the favor of allowing us to use their conference room free of charge. My father-in-law didn't even have to say a single word to her for her to crack. All he needed to do was stand there and stare at her, his face beet red with shame and anger. Harriet immediately dropped to her knees and started begging us for forgiveness. Seeing such an old woman so desperate like that was pretty hard to watch, but at the same time, it was super satisfying. Now that she knew the truth about her brother, Ray's sister's attitudes towards us changed completely, and we have a pretty good relationship now. She and her husband both said they don't want anything to do with Harriet anymore. As for me and Ray, cutting ties with Harriet has brought a new sense of peace to our lives. Without the stress of dealing with Harriet's constant abuse, I was able to get pregnant soon afterward. I'm several months into my pregnancy, and the baby is growing healthy and strong. Naturally, Harriet was divorced by her husband and had to start a new life on her own. Couple that with her gambling debts, and that means she has to do the one thing she's been doing her best to avoid for all her life: work. It doesn't seem like her college degree is helping her out, though. She gets interviews, but once they see what a terrible person she is, they transition right into, actually, the position has already been filled.